Hey guys, what's up? It's BigJackFilms here, and I'm being held against my will by David Salgado, who requests me to do an audio commentary on my episode of the King Kong Reviews, Bangler King Kong. And he's pointing my gun at my head as we speak. No, I'm just kidding. Love you, David. Thank you so much for this request, and we're gonna spend the next few minutes talking about this episode and what went into it. And really not much to say except it's a big parody of an episode of the Cinema Snob. Now, I love Cinema Snob. Brad's one of my favorite online reviewers, and I wanted to pay tribute to it. And one of the things that obviously is the intro, and I used like an old NBC promo for the extended TV cut of 76 to discuss it. But my history on Bangler King Kong, for the longest time, this was one of the worst movies I've ever seen. In fact, I think this is Brad's worst movie, like Bradley Dunn's worst film he's ever seen. And the first thing I ever saw was that trailer that apparently went viral that had a much more of a digital look to it. And I thought, okay, this is interesting, looking at a bunch of Kong media on YouTube on my spare time. So I looked into everywhere to find this movie, and I finally found it on YouTube, and it took me a while. In fact, I had to make my own DVD of it. But yeah, it's, there's not much info on this film that I can really find that isn't in English. But it took me a while to finally watch this thing, and yeah, this copy is like one of the poorest quality films I've ever seen in terms of reviews. And basically, when we filmed this episode, this was during Season 2's run, where I was filming all my segments at Universal Studios, Florida, because I was on vacation with my family in a big RV, as you can see. So while my family was in Washington, I spent that time recording the episode, making it look like a Cinema Snob episode in that RV. And it was a lot of fun to put together. A lot of these I used to edit on my laptop back in the day, my old Windows 7 laptop that's pretty much dead at this point. But yeah, this movie's... I mean, I used to hate it like a passion. Bradley Dunn, again, says this is one of the worst movies he's ever seen because it's so slow, it's so dragging. When I watched it the first time, I had to drag Brad into it. So any bad movies, I have to watch it with somebody before I go completely insane. But I've, over the years, kind of appreciated it a bit more since I've seen a lot more worse movies. And you can tell that despite them pretty much not giving a shit, it looks like they were having some fun with it. And it was very kind of like, this is my Who Killed Captain Alex. Like, this is my version of, like, a bad movie that I kind of can see the filmmakers really enjoy having fun with. And the locations are nice. The Kong suit using a Peter Jackson King Kong Playmates Halloween costume is not too bad. But you could tell, like, this was made on a really poor budget, and half the time you don't understand what the hell is happening. I don't think there's even one with subtitles. Now, a lot of people have actually said that this is not a Bollywood movie. This is a Bangladesh movie, which they have their own Bollywood, and I wasn't really separating them, but at the time I was just thinking, it's just the same shit. But if I offended, I apologize. It was just not my intention. I just thought, hey, I might as well talk about it, and just pretty much, it looks like a Bollywood movie, even though it's not. But yeah, like, it looks like they were having fun making this, even though half the time, they pretty much, half the time had just, you know, made it up as they went along, and I know this was filmed in sort of the slums of Bangladesh, I believe, but as far as I know, like, they were having fun. And I don't even know where half of this stuff was probably shot. But yeah, I don't mind this movie. I don't think it's too bad. Yeah, it's paced like shit, and half the time it's stock footage, but again, there's a charm to it, and I love how it sounds like an old crappy movie too. Like, it sounds like something, like an old 70s, Kung Fu Wu-Tang movie or something, like, with that really shit audio quality. But yeah, like, and the background, yeah, when we went on my trip, I did pack a few things for the road, so, for props and everything for reviews, which was great. But, I don't know, like, if any of the crew members have seen my review and thought it was bad, and thought it was awful to say, I apologize, but if you ever want to chat, let me know. I want to know what went on during this production. I mean, if you can speak English, that, like, it'd make it a lot easier on me. But yeah, so, I also gotta admire they built a giant hand, so there was some effort put in. They built a giant hand. Yeah, the snake was CG, but the snake was there in, like, a rubber form. There is some effort put into this film. And again, I've seen movies that have way worse. Like, I like these crappy gun effects. Like, I like those squibs going off. I enjoy the you know, the sound effects they had. But yeah, they obviously used stock footage from Mighty Joe Young 98, Kong 76, and some National Geographic stuff. And a lot of these references were nods to Cinema Snob episodes, because he did review Bruno Mattei's Jaws 5, he did review Turkish Star Wars and stuff like that. And are these films I would ever take a look at? Probably not. I mean, I wouldn't mind talking about the potential of a fifth Jaws movie, but I would only make reference to Bruno Mattei's film. I wouldn't even try to really discuss it as a full review. I've seen the movie. It's, like, one thing I hate about films, especially, like, sequels, is if they're clip show movies. So, like, Godzilla's Revenge is a clip show movie. Jaws 5, Cruel Jaws is a clip show movie. But really, yeah, like, this is not, again, there's some effort put in. Like, I like some of these effects. These shots are, I would even say, are on par with my remake. The hand, I'll admit, the wrist is really thin. You could have padded that out. I mean, I'm in the same boat, but they at least tried. There at least is some fun, and they tried. I don't know the full history on what went on during this movie and when they filmed it. And yeah, for some reason, the copy I had, the ending just gave up and pixelated like hell. I don't know why. I've seen better copies that actually did not do this, but at the time, yeah, like, the movie completely just skipped on itself and just gave up, and I just thought that was utterly hilarious. I don't know why. I want to put this on VHS as well. So yeah, it was totally a nod to Cinema Snob. And the ending with me contacting Doc Brown, that was meant to say that I was going back and talking about stuff I missed in the previous episodes, because since my show was becoming so popular, I wanted to talk about more Kong-related stuff, but it required me to kind of go back in time to basically skip out on anything I missed, so it's like, you do it once, you can't go back, but the only way is through time travel. So that's why in the next episode, you see me in the DeLorean time machine in an awful effect. And, yeah, and I love using the Charlie Brown teacher wah, wah, wah sounds. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you, David Salgado, for requesting me to talk about this episode, even though it's a very short one. If you guys have any other requests for commentaries during this time, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to support us on Patreon. And on top of that, just like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. This is BigJackFilms signing off, saying, enjoy a good Bollywood film while you're at it. It's not too bad, and that's the funniest thing I've ever seen ever. This sums up the movie entirely. Bye!